to start with again, to summarize yesterday's discussion, so where Kronos application gets data from HR application. So on a regular basis, employee HR data will be imported to Kronos application. So where all the users data gets updated, and the employee's tasks or to do means where they'll log their time. There are other actions also that they'll perform, but let's consider means they are doing only means punches for now. So when means after at the end of the pay periods or for each pay period, where employees will check or review their time cards, and they'll provide their approval on the time cards. The next step is managers will review, and if changes or needs to be done, then managers will edit or perform changes to their reportees time cards, and after that they'll also perform their approvals and sign off the time cards. So once the time cards are signed off, they are good for payroll processing, and we cannot make any changes or edits to the time cards. There are other ways where we can still edit the signed off time cards that we'll discuss maybe if time permits today, otherwise we'll discuss in the next session. So and then payroll manager will extract all the signed off time cards, data of signed off time cards, and then payroll is processed at the payroll application, where employees will receive their paychecks according to the hours that they have worked. Okay, so in this case, it depends on organization to organization. So in some organizations, they'll not follow like employee approval, where directly managers will review and approve the time cards without any employees approval. It depends how they want to proceed, or based on their convenience, or they'll follow that. But this is the standard practice or standard procedure where everyone will follow, where employees will approve their time cards, then managers will approve and signing off the time cards. Again, in few organizations where managers will not perform any sign-offs, sign-off process will be handled by payroll managers itself. So it again, as I said, it depends on organization to organization how they want to handle the sign-off or approval process. The same one is in graphical thing. I mean, in a graph where employees will try to punch at the clocks or application where they log their time, and they'll perform their approvals. Managers will review and perform their approvals and perform sign-offs. Then the data is sent to the payroll application, where payroll is processed and the employee will receive the paycheck for the hours that they have worked. Okay, and there are a couple of common tasks that for each user, which we had discussed a bit of them in the yesterday session. Employee common tasks are to first thing is where the basic or main task is to punch or log their time whenever they come for work, or when they are leaving for the day, or when they are taking breaks in between. And they can also they'll also be able to view their schedules, in which shift that employees are scheduled for any period, so they can view their schedule time. And they can request non-work time, means they can request time offs. So when they are not well or when they want to take vacation, they can use their leave balances and use them and request them or add them in the time card, so that they'll be paid for those hours which they are not actually working. Okay, approve time cards, we are aware. And last one is transfer the hours to a different areas or different departments. So when employees are working under different departments or different accounts or under different jobs, so they'll be able to do transfers to those departments for the hours that they have worked. So let's say last means in the afternoon session, other employee worked under a different department. So in that case, employee will perform transfer, so that all those hours are tracked under that particular department or that particular job. So these are the common tasks. There can be other tasks like employees can also view their accrual balances, or they can run a couple of basic reports like time detail reports. So those are all additional based on their convenience, but these are the common tasks like all the employees will usually do. As you are aware, you can stop me at any point of time. Okay, if you have any queries.
When you said transfers to different area, you mean is it different departments or cost centers or
anything means I will discuss. We can define what all labor levels that we want as part of tracking the labor. So usually, the common ones again, there are like facilities, departments, cost centers, jobs. All these are different labor levels that we can define. if organization is in multiple regions, then region can also be defined as a labor level. So like that, so we'll discuss about
for
all of
everything,
them.
the
So
source
basically,
is HR.
yeah, correct. So it's HR.
Okay.
Suppose if we have a new department, yeah, then we need to create that department in Kronos application so that employees can perform transfers to them, and we can also assign the default or home labor accounts for users. I mean, for all the employees, which means by default, whatever hours that employees are working will be considered under those accounts. Okay. Yeah. Moving on to manager common tasks. As we are aware, like managers will review the time cards for all their reportees and perform. And if they want to know if there are any exceptions or missed punches. So missed punches means when there is no associated in or out punch. Either there may be many reasons, like either employee missed to punch out while going out for the day, or due to some issue the punch did not flow from device to time card. Whatever may be the reason, if there is no associated in or out punch, then application cannot calculate the total number of hours that employees have worked for that day or for that shift. I'll show you that also when we discuss about time cards. So in those cases, yeah, where the application cannot calculate the shift totals for that day or for that shift. So obviously, when there are no shift total hours, employee will not be paid for those hours. So always managers will review for the missed punches and any other exceptions if they want to take care of during their review process, means while reviewing the time cards. Yeah, and managers can also enter time for their reportees. So when employee, suppose if employees can sick leave continuously for entire week or any time, so in that case, managers can add sick time or any other pay codes in their respective employees' time cards. And managers will handle the shifts and schedules for their reportees, in which shift that employees has to come and take care of their day-to-day tasks. So that is also their common task. And this one where approve and review overtime. So this one is for some organizations where they want overtime also to be approved. So whatever overtime hours that employees are working, so that should be approved by their respective managers. Then only they'll be paid as overtime. Yeah. So let's say if any employee worked some 4 hours of overtime and if manager approves only 3 hours, so in that case only 3 hours will be paid as overtime, and the other another that 1 hour will be paid as regular pay. So in those organizations, yeah, managers responsibility or common task is also to approve or review the overtimes that employees have worked. Okay, and they can also perform transfers for their reportees. If employee worked under different account, again as we discussed, in place of employee, managers can also do those transfers. Basically, managers can edit their reportees time card and perform approvals and sign off on their time cards. They have to ensure that employees' time cards are good for payroll processing, so that there won't be any pay issues for employees. The other user is payroll manager, so who will review all the employees' time cards and run a couple of reports before extracting. We can also run reports in the application, which we'll discuss. So they'll review and run on the interfaces to extract the data, all the time card signed off data, and that will be sent to payroll application where payroll is processed. So the last one is what I said we'll discuss shortly, where we can make corrections to the previous pay periods. So let's consider a scenario where employee missed to add punches for Friday. Let's say some 4 hours, where employee worked 4 hours on Friday, but he missed to add, or somehow for some reason there are no punches for those 4 hours. Employee missed and manager also missed to review, and finally employees, after seeing the paycheck or later when employee checked the time card, then he realized that he is missing those 4 hours. So then he can report to manager, and manager will take it forward to payroll manager to add those or make corrections to the previous pay periods for paying those 4 hours. So in that case, we can there is an option where we can edit the signed off time cards. I'll demonstrate and I'll explain you in detail all that. So for now, yeah, you understand. So that payroll managers can edit the sign off time cards, and they'll make corrections, like they'll add those 4 hours in the, let's say for last Friday. Okay, means last Friday, or it can be in any period in the past. So it can be last week, or it can be for last month. So for any period, if they want, we can edit or make corrections to the signed off periods.